Calm Parents, Happy Kids by Dr. Laura Markham. 10 of my favorite quotes inspired by a blog post from Crafty Mama. 1. The most important parenting skill: manage yourself. I believe a happy mother creates a happy home. When all is good with the mother, most of the time all is good with the family. When your cup is empty and you have not been looking after yourself, your energy becomes low, and so does the ability to harness your emotions. Look after yourself and show them how to manage yourself. When you are falling apart, how are your kids supposed to stay afloat? 2. What kids need that no one tells you: a safe place to express feelings while you listen. Sometimes it's hard to really listen when your toddler throws himself on the floor for the millionth time. What he really wants is for you to stop and listen to him. Hear him out. Hear that he needs you. Dr. Markham says children can only manage behavior when they learn to manage the emotions that drives that behavior. Sometimes kids need a safe place to allow those emotions to flow free, where they won't get in trouble for feeling what they don't even know they are feeling. 3. What your child wishes you understood: she's just a kid trying as hard as she can. Expect age-appropriate behavior, not perfection, and keep your priorities straight. Sometimes I find myself all of a sudden stop myself mid-scolding my 2-year-olds and think, wait a bit, they are only 2 years old. When kids are linguistically advanced and talk like a 3-year-old even though they are only 2 years old, you tend to think that they should be able to listen and obey you like a 3-year-old. Well, they're not. They are a year behind a 3-year-old, which means the 3-year-old has had a whole year more of emotional coaching and a whole year more of getting to understand this strange thing called life. If you are an imperfect being, how can you expect them to be perfect? If you make mistakes all the time and lose battles with yourself daily, whether it's about chocolate, swearing, or smoking, how can you expect your toddler to sit down every time you ask her to? 4. The most useful mantra: don't take it personally. Yaza, this one is one of the most difficult ones for me. I take everything personally. Everything. Dr. Laura encourages to avoid power struggles by cultivating a sense of humor. I have been trying this more and more, and I must say, making jokes has saved many a battle with my kids. Whenever I want my kids to do something these days, I just do something funny with them. 5. All misbehavior comes from basic needs that aren't met. I have experienced from observing kids in the past that naughty kids usually are in need. They need love or attention, of an example of a healthy relationship between parents, for instance. Sometimes it's just an immediate need, like you can't expect your child to sit still in a trolley for 2 hours at the grocery store when they are hungry. They don't necessarily know they are hungry or realize they are thirsty, but act out because they feel something is not feeling good. Make sure they get enough sleep, are fed, have enough free playtime, cuddle them, talk to them, and make them feel safe. Dr. Markham believes children want to be successful, and when they don't, they have a relationship problem, not a behavior problem. 6. Because no matter how bad your child's behavior, it's a cry for help. Sometimes the behavior requires a firm limit, but it never requires us to be mean. I have been mean so many times, only for me to realize later that there really was something in her shoe, or he really did want to pee again. Sometimes I have just not been taking care of myself, so my threshold would be very low, and then I'd expect too much of them. There's never an excuse for bad behavior, and discipline is very important to me, but it's never okay to fight their behavior by being mean. By doing that, we teach them how to handle things by being mean, just causing more bad behavior on their side. 7. The best parenting expert: your child. This is my favorite quote. We learn from our children from the day we are born. When we observe them and meet their constant needs, we learn from them. They are basically giving it to us. We just have to learn to listen without having to hear. 8. One generation full of deeply loving parents would change the brain of the next generation. And with that, the world. Charles Raisin. There's a saying that goes, all you need is love and a place to call home. In Afrikaans, the saying is more true because it translates to, all you need is love and a little water. Children that are neglected and never touched have found to be very far behind developmentally. This shows how important love and physical touch is for human beings. We cannot function without it. Song of Solomon 8:7 says, many waters cannot quench love, rivers cannot wash it away. If one were to give all the wealth of one's house for love, it would be utterly scorned. How powerful love is. 9. Parenting is not about what our child does, but about how we respond. Much too often, I find myself thinking a behavior my child portrayed shows what kind of parent I am. I have responded in a bad way so many times. My only comfort is in God and the fact that He has grace for me, and therefore my child will also have grace for me, through Him. My mistakes cannot be undone, and I am making them as I go. But God is guiding me every step of the way and will never fail to show me the way. I know it's going to be okay because thankfully, God has made kids adaptable, and He has given us the strength and courage to change. Dr. Laura says, you'll have to manage your own triggers and emotions to effectively coach and connect with your child. Man, is it difficult to manage my triggers when the kids find all of them within a 5-minute frame. I have issues, I know that by now. And much too often they come out in situations where I'm trying to coach my children. They learn to regulate their emotions and behavior by watching us do it. We have to be okay for them to be okay. That's a scary thought. 10. Our children need to know that we take joy in them or they don't see themselves as worth loving. In fact, your ability to enjoy your child may be the most important factor in his development. Life can distract us so much from what's happening right under our noses. How sad is that when there's children happening right under our noses? Was it not important for us to know our parents took joy in us, or very sad when we knew they didn't? Isn't it important for us to know our spouse takes joy in us, or sad for us when we know they don't? Our children are not as emotionally developed as we are. Imagine how badly affected they are when they don't experience us having joy in them. They are our worlds. Let's make them know they are.